From the outside, Arif's life looked totally normal. Wake up, scroll his phone, go to work, smile at people, come back tired, crash on the bed. Anyone watching would say, looks fine. But inside, something felt off. A quiet heaviness followed him every single day. A kind of emptiness he couldn't explain. He kept asking himself, if everything's okay, why do I feel like this? But no answer ever showed up. One night, he had a dream. Not scary, just strange. He was standing in a long white hallway. Dead silent. So quiet he could hear his own breathing. At the end of the hallway was a door. On it, 3 words were written, your mind. When he reached out to touch it, a voice said, if you step inside, you won't come out the same. He woke up instantly. Heart racing. But instead of fear, he felt calm, like the truth was calling him. The dream didn't stop. Same hallway. Same door. Again and again. Each time, the door opened a little more. And every time, a voice whispered, you've ignored me for years. Arif wasn't scared anymore. He was restless. It felt like his own mind was trying to talk to him, and he'd been ghosting it his whole life. So for the first time ever, he saw a therapist. Dr. Mira listened quietly as he talked about the emptiness, the dreams, the voice. When he finished, she said something that hit hard, your mind isn't breaking. It's asking to be heard. She explained how people bury fear, anger, failure, shame, until the mind finds another way to speak. That night, Arif decided to stop running. He closed his eyes, focused on his breathing, and thought, if something's real, show yourself. And suddenly, he was back in the hallway. This time, he didn't hesitate. He opened the door. Inside was a room. Words were written all over the walls, fear, anger, failure, comparison, loneliness. In the center, there was a chair. And sitting on it, was Arif. Same face. Same body. But his eyes looked tired. Deeply tired. That version of him spoke first, so you finally showed up. I'm the part of you that you keep pretending doesn't exist. Arif froze. The other him continued, you're always trying to be strong. But you never ask if I'm exhausted. You slap a smile on everything so nobody asks questions. That's when Arif broke. Tears fell. He remembered all the times he wanted to cry but told himself, man up. Another door opened. Darkness flooded the room. His failures played on the walls, rejections, embarrassment, the moments he quit on himself. A voice said, you kept running from fear. That's why it chased you. This time, Arif didn't look away. He stood still. And slowly, the darkness faded. The next room looked like social media. Everyone winning. Everyone happy. Arif noticed chains around his legs. The voice said, you stopped running your own race and started watching everyone else's. He looked down, and the chains snapped. Then came the anger room. Fire everywhere. He heard himself screaming, why did nobody understand me? The voice replied, anger isn't bad. Suppressed anger is poison. Arif let it out. He cried. And the fire died. The final room was empty. Just a mirror. He looked at himself, tired, scared, real. The voice said, you're not broken. You were just never listened to. Arif hugged himself for the first time in his life. He woke up. Morning light filled the room. Same world. Same life. But something inside had shifted. He finally understood that the mind isn't the enemy, it just speaks a different language. Breaking down doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes, it's how strength is rebuilt. The questions he kept avoiding were the same ones setting him free. He promised himself he'd stop silencing his pain and start listening to it, because pain that's heard slowly begins to heal. He realized you don't need to be happy every day, but you do need to be honest every day. Comparison doesn't make you small, forgetting yourself does. He stopped chasing applause. His peace was enough. Life wasn't perfect, but he wasn't running anymore. And maybe that's the real win. Not fighting yourself, but finally understanding yourself. Because we all lock away a room inside our minds, out of fear, out of shame. But until you're brave enough to meet yourself, you won't find peace anywhere else. Because the most important voice you'll ever hear is your own.